Well, here we are again with this situation that occurred last season that pretty much did indeed derail or disturb. Let's use disturbed. I don't want to say derail. Although they didn't win the Constructors Championship, Max did win the Drivers' Championship by the skin of his elbow. Not so close as the skin of his teeth or his ass. But this situation did disturb the dynamics, as toxic as it may be, as many of us have seen it be, in Red Bull. And it was also an informational point on a graph that I have made you all the last season, showing the downward trend in Red Bull every time a situation or event took place and how it may have been correlated to impact that team. And I like to put numbers to graphs to kind of get an idea, get a visual representation of when situations happen. Does it have some type of correlation, or could it possibly have an impact on the performance of said thing? And I don't think it was coincidental that when we saw the situation unveiled or explode about Christian Horner and his inappropriate behavior while being married, is we saw a downward trend. But then not so much as that. What's up, Dave Squatro? Following that, we had the announcement of Adrian Newey announcing that he's going to leave Red Bull. And again, we saw a downward trend. And then I don't even know. I should have looked to see if I still had that graphic so that I could have showed that as well. Because it although it's not completely conclusive, it did show some type of cause and effect. Now, to what degree that had, maybe not. But I would say that it was pretty evident that said things happened and then said other events took place. Then said things happened and then said other things took place. And I think that there was something to it. Honestly, I do. And what I will do is I will try to see if I can find that graphic another time and then show it to you all. But it was interesting. It was interesting. Actually, I got it right here. Chat. So let me go ahead and try to bring this up real quick so we could take a look at it. So here's the graph that I had built when everything was unveiling the downfall of Red Bull. And the points, the red, yellow, and blue points are the events that took place throughout the season. So this red point is the Christian Horner scandal, which we are about to talk briefly about right now. And see, this is what I like to do when certain Red Bull delusional people start saying, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist, you're wearing a tinfoil cap. I like to take information, plug in information, get a graphical output, and then take a look at what does the graph show me. And so right here, you see the situation with Christian Horner. Shortly after that, yes, a downfall of Red Bull as far as their points or driver finishes. Okay. Then you see they kind of sustained right here from 24 all the way from 9 March to 7th April. They still kind of were going on a downward, but it was stabilizing. Then what did you have? You had the news of Adrian Newey leaving the team. Okay. Now this is why I say, I'm not saying that this is totally conclusive, that what I've done is exactly what it is, and this is the reason for cause and effect. But I am saying that when I plugged in this information and I made this graph and the data system kicked this back out to me, I couldn't help but realize a trend. So right here, Adrian Newey announces he's leaving, a big dip, and they never recovered. Do understand that as well. When at the time that this scandal came out with Christian Horner, they never recovered from that situation. When the second situation hit about Adrian Newey leaving the team, they never recovered back to that situation. They continued to go on a downward trend. And once kind of what we would call in the stock market is consolidation, kind of bouncing up and down within the same area, what happened next? We had a technical regulation come out. They got hit about asymmetric braking. And what happened after asymmetric braking got hit? They took a big dip. They took a massive dip after that regulation hit. true enough recovered, but they bounce pretty much when a candle tests the level and it doesn't go over that level. It tests and it gets rejected. That's pretty much what happened. Red Bull tried to rebound and they got rejected, and still a downward trend from the start of Christian Horner's scandal to the point that they got hit about asymmetric braking. They never recovered. And this is why I say, had Max Verstappen not been so front loaded, he likely would not have won that championship. But I'm glad I was able to find that graph. I got to put it in a place where I can find it and locate it a bit better than that. But it is a very, very interesting graph at the least. So what are we supposed to do with all this? What are we supposed to do with all this? Right? Well, let's talk about something else first, because as it sits right here, I would like to also point this out. Despite putting on a brave public face throughout the ordeal, found the experience incredibly hard. She's been through some of the most painful moments of her life. Never faced the public again, they said. Sometimes wanting to retreat and never face the public again. Okay, so what I'm going to say about that is, if that is true, if she does not want to face the public again, is there not a bit of shame or embarrassment or some type of hurt that is not going to be recovered from because said things are possibly true? I mean, because evidently if none of these messages come out, which we're looking at right now in the screen, if none of this is absolutely true, why would she feel this way? Why would she feel that sometimes wanting to retreat and never face the public again? Because if you know it's all fake and you know it's all false, you're standing on top of a mountain, you're standing on top of a hill, waiting. You are building a factory for crow pie to be distributed like nobody's business, right? I mean, that's how I would be, but maybe not. It says, for people to question the very thing she prides herself and became famous of, girl power, and insinuate she should not have stood by him, really stung, and made her all insecurities resurface. Okay, well, don't be insecure if you don't have anything to be insecure about, but I think maybe you do. We won't go into what Verstappen, Verstappen's dad, listen, Joss and his advice as far as when it comes to relationships, he is completely, in my opinion, not qualified to talk or give advice on anybody's relationship. This is a man who was charged, although not indicted, on vehicular homicide of a woman. This is a man who we know and have factual information about him being abusive, a woman beater. This is a guy who could not control his temper and assaulted another driver at an event. This is the guy. He's totally not qualified to give anybody advice, comment on anybody's relationship at all. He's just not. So I don't want to hear anything that he's got to say. Now, we get down here and it says Horner refused to comment on the decision. He told reporters, in light of Verstappen's father's comments, I think it's everybody's interest collectively that we've agreed to move on, focus on the future. Now, this is what I will say. I think many of us, when this situation kicked off, I think many of us were disappointed in Red Bull's actions as a company. What's going on, Dave Quattro? What's going on, Nadir? What's up, Marciano? I think hey, what's up, Lower Chaos? I see you, brother. I think we were disappointed in Red Bull's actions as a company, and it's not a surprise because Red Bull has disappointed us with several other scumbag things that they've done, and it's just the truth. But they suspended the woman who brought forth the allegations, her complaint. But Christian Horner was allowed to continue at work, be at the car launch, and speak. I thought that was very odd. I thought that it was very odd that the accuser was in some way punished by being suspended, And the person being accused, which would be the perpetrator in Christian Horner, was allowed to represent the team, still show his face, still speak at the event, still be around the team, although several key figures in the team felt that maybe it not the best. I thought that was, to me, it came off as unfair. To me, it came off as very male chauvinistic. That's how it came off to me. It's very male chauvinistic. The fact that this woman brings about these accusations, this complaint that she has been in some way wronged, she's suspended, but Christian Horner, the man, gets to stick around. He still gets to wear his Red Bull flag colors. What's going on, 083? So let's get back into this. Right here says female 16th of March, female employee suspended by Red Bull following Horner's allegations, submitted a formal appeal to Red Bull over their decision to clear Horner. Okay. A day later, what happens? Adrian Newey announced that he's quit the team and would leave company in early 2025. Horner lost another team member, Red Bull sporting director Jonathan Wheatley, who had been part of the Red Bulls since 2026, leaves to join the F1 Audi project. Am I wrong here when I say that where there's smoke, there's fire? If you have something happen, and then all of a sudden, following that, you have key figures and personnel jumping ship, that to me doesn't speak that everything's on the up. To me, that doesn't say that everything's okay. To me, that doesn't say that Christian Horner is innocent. To me, what that says is something's wrong. We're going to do our best to mitigate it. We're going to do our best to control it as much as possible, to the point that hopefully we won't have to fire you, Christian Horner. That hopefully we can get by with being somewhat dinged, not damaged to the point where we have to get rid of you. That's what that says to me. And also what that says to me is biasness, sexual biasness, and privilege. What in the hell and why does this have to keep going on? It's much just like I saw this asshat guy do a post on Twitter that he thinks Derek Chauvin, the cop who murdered George Floyd in broad daylight, the cop who failed to do his job properly as a public servant, the cop who on his face had a look of enjoyment as he was taking an American citizen's life, and Elon Musk retweet the idea saying that's something we should consider, to pardon him. Systematically, that is screwed up. And it shows that Elon Musk is indeed probably a racist, and that Heil Hitler salute he gave is what it was. And if you go here, and this is what an organization is doing, so-called protecting Christian Horner, who may have done something completely inappropriate within the bounds of not only his relationship, but in a work environment, and she gets the shaft, maybe a payoff, and he gets to keep his job. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. That's completely skewed. You know, it's much as if I feel sometimes, why is it that I see a lot of good people catch a lot of hell, but I see a lot of crooked people having a lot of fun sometimes? Not all the time, but you get what I'm saying. So as we go in here, it says a week later, Horner reportedly faced problems in his personal life and went to make or break trip with Geri and bid to save their 9-year marriage. That sounds like, to me, you need to go on a vacation to do a lot of begging and pleading and a lot of explaining that please don't leave me. That's what that sounds like to me. That's what that sounds like to me. Just in my opinion, that's how it comes off. Is that trip was about let me just please don't do it. Not even. I think she knows the truth. I think she knows that took place. I mean, well, I'll tell you what. This is. We'll take a look at something. Let's take a look at it now. Let's just take a look at it now, because I think that this is probably part of it right here. What are we supposed to do with this? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do with this? Look at this right here. Look at this. I mean, what are we supposed to do with that? I mean, have you not seen some of these messages? Have you not seen some of these messages? Right? I mean, and maybe you all can't see them, but let me read some of these messages and you tell me what you think. All right. You tell me what you think. So we have a message right here starting in the top. I guess that would be my left-hand corner, closest to me. It says, hope you enjoyed your blast in Bahrain. Amazing. Hope you did. Still waiting, but was fun to make you. Still waiting, but was fun to make you. Make and meet aren't going to be confused by predictive text. I hate predictive text, but make and meet are not often confused. Make you. You wouldn't let me. Haha, you couldn't hold on long enough. What? I don't know how much you could take from that, but I know one thing you could take from it ain't all the way right. Okay, so let's go to the next message. It says, no problem, like you. Question, you said you could do the splits. No, I definitely can't. Used to, nope. Then the next one, file 4 right here, says that not the pick I was expecting. That's Horner, right? I'm checking. What does it say? I'm clocked out until the morning. Not the pick I was expecting. Your wife would not be happy of you leaving early. Think I'm very generous. Okay. All right. Whatever that case is. And then right here, file 17, missed video call. I just had a bowl of Cocoa Pops and now ready for bed. My favorite. Can I call you? It's bedtime. I know. Come on now. What are we doing right here? Come on now. And you know what is just so even more egregious about this is to listen. I want to be very clear. The situation here is not that a person can make a mistake within a relationship and then with their significant other find a level of forgiveness and then move on, right? It's not, people, we're human. We make mistakes. You make mistakes, you move on, or you don't move on. That's not the problem. That is completely up to Christian Horner and his wife. Fine. But for Christian Horner, he's like a repeat offender, right? It's like a repeat offender. He's not just making a mistake. This is who he is. What he does is who he is. That's the problem. It's not like he did something one time like, damn, that's out of character. What Christian Horner is doing is completely within this character, and he is a scumbag. What's up, fam? Grinding at work again. Hope everyone smashed the like button. Peace and love. Peace and love to you, Toe Ball, brother. Thank you very much. He's completely a scumbag. This is the same guy that while riding horses with his wife had insinuated and said pretty much on Drive to Survive that he would like the horse. I'm paraphrasing. Go back and watch it. Wishing the horse he was riding to be Lewis Hamilton. Why would a grown man riding horses with his wife say that he wished the horse he was sitting his butt on and riding with his private parts, I wish this was Lewis Hamilton? That's scumbag type stuff. I'm not even going to say that in a Joan fest. I don't want to even say that. I mean, that's weird. That's weird verbiage to come from somebody. That you wish the horse you was riding was another grown man? You wish it was Lewis Hamilton? That's wrong in so many ways, it's not even funny. One, off the back of the black people, African people of descent, have been through in this world, and especially in America, what we're going through right now with the orange furor and Elon Musk is absolutely horrible. And I can't believe some of these dumbasses voted for that. But you know the tones and the lines. This is the same guy. This is the same guy while sitting there in Lewis Hamilton giving a celebration speech after a race on Drive to Survive said, I wish he shut the F up. Why? He just won. Aren't you going to be talking when you win? Because you do. This is the same guy who incited a racial outburst on social media, a racial attack on Lewis Hamilton post the situation, the collision between Max and Lewis at Silverstone, when really that was Max's fault. Max, being the dirty, hardcore driver he is, the dive bomber he is, has plenty of space out there, but he decides to just come on down. This is that same guy. So the problem is not that a mistake was made and a couple decides to get over it. The problem is a mistake was made in this way. He's trying to say he didn't do it. He's done so many other scumbag things. So we can add this to the bucket of Christian Horner's a scumbucket by his actions. Paul says that just proves his character got none. Exactly, brother. Exactly. And that is what is up right here. But then we go down a little further here. Let's go ahead and go down because this is the part that gets kind of, I was like, what's going on? So, statement from Red Bull says that earlier this year, a complaint raised against Christian Horner was investigated. The complaint was dealt with. The company's grievance procedure by appointment of I think this KC is a King's Counsel. I think that's what that might be. King Counsel or some type of representative who dismissed the grievance. The complaintant exercised the right of appeal. Appeal was carried out by another independent representative. All stages of the appeal process have now been concluded with the final outcome that the appeal is not upheld. The King Counsel conclusion or representative have accepted and adopted by Red Bull. The internal process has concluded. So with that being said, he gets away with it. It's a done deal. Does that mean it didn't happen? No. Does that mean that Christian Horner is a good person? No. Does this mean that she's a liar? No, because if these text messages that we're looking at right here are real, indeed she isn't lying. Now, how much more went on behind the scenes about his physical actions, about his physical mannerisms and or body language while they were at work for Red Bull in and out of these Grand Prix, I don't know. But definitely there's enough here to support that he was outside of his bounds in this situation. That's what I would say. And this is where if any component of Red Bull is definitely going to be Red Bull's downfall, it's probably Christian Horner. I don't even think Column's there anymore, which some people looked at as the black token figure at Red Bull. I don't even think he's there anymore. I think I saw something about him not being there, or maybe he is going to be there, but I know he came out with a book. I know I talked about him earlier as far as his offer from Lewis Hamilton about the Hamilton Commission. Commission 44. I don't know if he even rejected or accepted it, but I thought it was a damn sure disappointment if he didn't accept that, because it's not about Lewis Hamilton. It's about the future generation of kids of different backgrounds having the ability and the pathways into a sport that has a very small percentage of people that look like me, which is crazy. It is crazy. There's so many inventors. I can even, some people don't even know there were African Roman emperors. Some people don't even know this. Some people don't even know, if you look at the original scripts and the texts and the images of biblical figures, they're not bleached. Some people don't know this. Some people just have no clue. And so what we're seeing here is another flip of a coin, which is a horrible situation because I think people overlook that women go through a lot. I think people underestimate the heavy toll that women have to endure in corporate settings, let alone being business owners. Women go through a lot. They absolutely do. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen a woman who was a prime candidate for a position, and I mean had the experience, had the accolades, had the degrees, had the willpower and the mannerisms in which would enrich a flourishing, competitive working environment. And I've seen her get passed over all because she's a woman and the good old boy system survives. I've seen it. You know, and what also is sad here is Christian Horner's wife, whether you like her or not, I don't know enough about her. You know, I don't dislike her at all, but I tell you what I do feel for is that people will call her stupid. People will say you're an idiot. People will say you're dumb. That's not fair. It's not fair at all. She's not the one who has done this. She's not the one that's in front of the camera. She's the one that's catching all the flack for being next to a scumbag. And some might say, Christian Horner's a scumbag. Why are you with him? Well, I dare you to ask yourself this. Have you ever been in a relationship where you were hoping that somebody could be a better version of themselves, and you were staying in that relationship because you were in love with the idea of what they could be and not really judging them for what they actually are? If you have been in that situation, then you were in her shoes. Now, maybe you got out of that situation and she hasn't, but don't throw stones at her just yet. I haven't seen anything that says that she would be. Now, it could be birds of a feather flock together, and I'm not ruling that out. I'm just saying let's kind of be a little bit fair, because she's just doing what you would hope anybody that you were in a relationship with long term would do for you, which was back you unless they found out that there was nothing to back. But yeah, I think Christian Horner's dirty. I think he's dirty. I think he's inappropriate. I think he's wrong. And I definitely think he should be fired. Okay. That is exactly what I think. I think he's shown me enough to know his personality and his character. I think Red Bull in itself has shown me enough to know what a good amount of their character is as a company, because I've shown you all before some of the ridiculous things that Red Bull has done, said. Don't even go back to Yuri Vips. Don't go back to everything. Remember when Honda put out this apologetic letter that they were disgusted about the way Red Bull fans were reacting? I don't think they were just talking to Red Bull fans. I think Honda was disgusted about Red Bull. And where are they now? I think Honda was absolutely happy. We got to find a way out of here. This team, this organization is toxic. It's not where we want to be. It is not where we want to be. And this guy, indeed, already putting out complaints or launching appeals, protesting that teams are cheating when you've been cheating. That's what's crazy. How is this guy launching appeals on other teams because you've been cheating? Sometimes they say if you smelt it, you dealt it. Asymmetric breaking, when something comes out and they choose to ban it right away, you know it's foul. Not like the Aston Martin wing, not like the Mercedes DOS system. They were allowed to continue using that for the rest of the season because you know what? It was something of an innovation that they found within the regulations in a gray area that they did not account for. Therefore, it was not done with ill intent. It was not something that was completely misconstrued. It was something that we didn't think about. They did. They developed it. Use it for the rest of the season. But next season, it won't be allowed. Not that. I mean, they demanded right. It's done with. And when it was done with, Red Bull was more done with. Paul says, you should see the struggles my wife faces running heavy equipment at a quarry, and the only female till she shows them up. And see, this is what I'm saying. Thank you, Paul. I'm glad. Thank you for that example. Thank you for that example. And let me tell you what else is crazy. Paul, if I could expound on your example there, and shout out to your wife for being in an environment that definitely could be challenging for women. But let me expound on that. Let's say Paul's wife does something completely awesome, something that somebody else who's been operating heavy equipment hasn't done, and it is like top next level. If it were a man who did it, we're talking about, hey, congratulations, bumping hands, clapping fists, and maybe a plaque award. Because it's a woman that did it, why does it have to be an appreciation with a sexual connotation on the back of it, right? Something sexual said on the back of it. Something, oh, I'd sure love to bend that over. Oh, I'd sure love to take her out on a date. This is what I'm saying. This is where the problem is. She should just be congratulated and appreciated like any other man that is a worker there, because that's what she is. She is a worker there. She is an operator of equipment, and she should be congratulated and appreciated as an operator of an equipment who has done something outstanding. But instead, you got to devalue the way you look at her. You got to devalue the way you congratulate her, and you have to add some type of sexual insult in with it. That's the BS. These are the problems that exist in corporate and especially environments like that. Especially environments like that. That's where a lot of the problem is. And Christian Horner is somebody who I believe is part of that community of scumbags where a woman can't come in, be exemplary at her work, and just be appreciated and accoladed and awarded just like so. There's got to be something tagged onto it. You got to make her into a sexual figure. Just like Angel Reese. Angel Reese, phenomenal basketball player. They turn it into sexual. She can dress how she want to dress. I was asked by a news reporter one time when I was out with my kids, they're wearing yoga pants. Them girls wearing yoga pants at school. I understand the debate of, is it appropriate, is it not? But that does not change the fact that young men should be taught how to act in public and or respect a woman in public. Her wearing yoga pants and then this young male saying something completely inappropriate, touching completely inappropriate, sexually assaulting, that doesn't warrant that. And I'm not even going to go for it. So don't tell me because she wore yoga pants, that's what she get. Don't tell me nothing like that. I'm bound to slap you. No, she wore yoga pants. Okay, he still don't know how to act. You still don't know how to teach your sons how to act. You don't know how to teach your nephews how to act. You don't know how to tell them how to have self-control. I guess Christian Horner didn't have those lessons. Either he had them and he didn't take well to them, or he had them and he just didn't give a damn about them. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. And it just gets on my nerves every time to see these things continue. This is why another reason why we don't have a woman in Formula One. This is another reason why we don't have a woman in Formula One. Because I'm here to debate. You can't tell me right now that Logan Sargent is better than Jamie Chadwick. You just can't tell me that right now. I got to see Jamie Chadwick in a Williams Formula One car before I say that. You can't tell me that Giovinazzi, who we seen, you can't tell me that Crash Tiffy. You can't tell me that Jamie Chadwick couldn't have done that or better. You can't tell me that. I got to see her in a Formula One car, but why haven't we seen her? Because certain companies don't want to back a woman in Formula One? Because if you don't put your pants on and you have a zipper in front where you can pull out your U-High and take a piss, you don't qualify to get the money so we can put you in a Formula One car? I'm a little confused as of right now why this hasn't happened. No, I'm not even confused. I'm a bit disgusted at this point in time of why this hasn't happened. Because of things like this. Because you can get suspended and he can still go on living his life. Just, I don't know, people. I know we got a race coming up soon. I hate to put a damper on your parade. We will be talking about the race. We will still be doing qualifying, hopefully, if I can do that. And finale lap, hopefully, if I can do that. But this is important. This is an important topic because this just puts together a lot of pieces of why things are the way they are. So let me know what you think below in the comment section. I see a lot of you all commenting. I thank you. A lot of you all for coming. I thank a lot of people for supporting the channel. We got a lot of new people that are pleased to have the ideas and the think tank of Wolfpack performance community, because we do think different. We do talk about different topics, and we're not scared to talk about things in such a way that we're going to get banned. I mean, they already don't give us the interviews. They already scared to sit down and talk because they don't want to talk with somebody that's really real. They know this. They want to make sure they see all your questions. They want to make sure they go up and down. Don't ask Christian Horner this. Don't ask Christian Horner that. Don't ask him this. When you do edit this way. Oh, we saw the edit. We want you to take this out. Can you send it back to us? You send it back to them. They wanted you to take that out. Okay, can you take this out? I've been through the process. And let me tell you what I told them. You got 3 times. After that, I'm done. If we're not going to have a real conversation, I don't want to do it. And that's exactly what I told them. Listen, this is the 3rd time. If we're not going to have a real conversation, I don't want to do it. Straight up. And likely that's why I don't get the opportunity I've gotten, because that's exactly what I said. I want to have real conversations with real people. I will respect you. If there's something that you don't want me to ask, tell me beforehand and I won't ask you about it. But once we start rolling, I'll ask a question. I'm not going to purposely put you in a situation to make you hate me or make people hate you. But if we got real things to discuss, let's discuss real things. And if you real about what you do, then just go ahead and give the real answer to the question. If you don't want to answer the question, pass it. And guess what? I'm not going to keep beating you over the head with it. We'll move on. I'm going to respect you. But see, they don't even want that. They want complete puppets. And a lot of these content creators don't even say or talk about the things that they would talk about on their own channels because they're too worried about if they're going to be selected or not have the opportunity. And some of them never going to get the opportunity. And some people got surrogate channels. Their channel isn't even really their channel. Their channel belongs to somebody else who they continuously have on there, and they not even the draw for their own channel. I mean, I'm all about people get it how you live and get how you got to get to where you got to get. But somebody out here got to keep it real. Somebody out here has to talk about these type of topics and these situations of Formula One in such a way that we are keeping it just a buck. Not trying to hide it, and I'm not trying to dirty you up, but this is what we got. This is what we see. So what is it really? I mean, we thought Drive to Survive was going to be the reality series of Formula One to show us like how much of this that we don't see on Formula One weekends are really contributing to a lot of this smoke and fire that we have to negate sometimes every now and then through these outlets, right? And what did Drive to Survive do last season? Y'all remember what they did last season? Everything that happened with Red Bull, we didn't see any of it. I mean, that was the championship winning team. The season before last. That was the championship winning team, right? Why did they omit so much of Red Bull stuff? They didn't even go into the whole situation. All the things that happened to Max Verstappen, all the things Max Verstappen said, all the things that happened at the Dutch Grand Prix, all the things that happened at Assault, all this stuff that took place, and they managed to avoid the Red Bull camp to the point where I didn't even think, if you had watched Drive to Survive, I don't think you even would have thought Red Bull was a team in Formula One. So they can't even be real with everything that they want to be real with. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It is. So it is what it is, people. Let me know what you think below. I got to go chill, gradually kind of get my footing, at least here. Life outside of here is not so great for me. So I enjoy speaking with you all when I can speak with you all, because it really does give me a mental mindset of being out and about, communing with people that I really do appreciate for supporting my platform since the day I started it. Was supporting my platform since the day I started talking about Formula One, and supporting me as a person the way I think. And you've helped me grow. You all have helped me grow like incredibly in the space to understand that, you know, the raw J is cool, but sometimes you got to think about how you might approach things. You all have helped me grow. Many of you all, Paul, Derwin, the experiences we've had, Galactus, Sylvia Witt Kelly, Nall Ottomain, Maria Duncan, a lot of you all have helped me grow in a way that I appreciate so much. So that's part of it. And I got the dopest community in Formula One, period, hands down. No other channel has a community like ours. No other channel does even what we do as a community. Like, y'all are unbelievably awesome. Y'all are unbelievably awesome in so many ways, even on a personal level. So We will have Wolves Den this weekend. We'll be talking about this topic and some other topics. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my brothers in the live, my brothers and my sisters in the live chat. Big shout out to, look at all the purple and blue badges. Some of y'all need to understand, when y'all see a purple and blue badge, go check the membership levels. That should tell you something. Go check the membership levels. When you see blue and purple badges, you better understand what that means. You better understand what that means when you see those type of badges, because it means a lot. It means a lot to me, a hell of a lot to me. So peace and love to you all. We'll see you all again soon. Wolfpack out. Peace.